we've been hearing about these first couple months of the season is outside of basketball, of course, is ratings. And ratings has always been a thing we've discussed on here throughout the years, but we're seeing numbers that's come in, recently where the ratings are massively low. I saw some numbers recently that the ratings are down from last year. Well, maybe in comparison to another year. I can't remember, it was like 10 years ago or last year, but ratings are down as much as 40 something percent. And I want to be honest this too also, because I do think there's a lot of things that play a part in this. There's people who've lost interest in the NBA through the years, whether or not it's because of social justice or just the aesthetics of the game itself, or just other things people do, or no interest in today's players. There's a lot of things you can bake in. But why are the numbers so low right now in comparison to other previous years, in your opinion?
I think it's a lot of things. One, I think we touched on is the injuries. So I mean, like on a given night, you don't know who's going to be playing. Like last night, for example, the Sixers are playing the Hornets, and I mean, you have no Joel Embiid, and then the Hornets are missing a boatload of guys. LaMelo Ball played, but I mean, like you can just go game to game, and it's usually like a long list of guys not playing in the game. And to your point on football before, like football is a once a week event. And the fact that the NBA plays so many games, there's really not a great importance on any one given game. So, I mean, and I've always said, and I know they'll never do it, so it's not even worth saying that they should, but like if the season were 55 games, I think the interest would be dramatically different. Because if a team were playing, one game during the week, one game on the weekend, and that's it, especially when football season's over, if you have every team playing a Saturday night game or a Sunday night game, you could probably make some theater out of that. But they're, neither side is going to go for that because of the loss
of
revenue.
Course not. Yeah, of course.
I mean, like that's not even worth discussing. But I mean, like they just play so many games that there's not a huge importance on any one. And given that there's not an importance on any one, guys missing a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, in Kawhi Leonard's case, missing, the entire season up to this point, with knee soreness or whatever, like, there's just not an importance on a single game, and guys are injured and they take a lot of time off. And I think that probably turns the average fan away, knowing like, oh, I'll just tune in for the playoffs. Also, I would say it's a stylistic thing. So the injuries, that would be one thing. Stylistically, I think that the talent level in the league is greater than it's ever been before. But the style that they play is just chucking a bunch of threes, which really does not
see that.
It doesn't highlight the skill level. So like you look at a guy like Jason Tatum, Tatum's going to shoot 10 threes a game, and he's not really a good 3-point shooter. I mean, like, he'll go 4 of 11, but it's like he's not a great shooter, but he can get any shot he wants. He's so talented. He's so gifted. He could get to the rim at will, but yet he'll settle for 11 threes a game. And it's like, that's not really good basketball. Just like turning basketball into a math equation where it's like, we're going to shoot 50 threes a game. It doesn't require a lot of great coaching. It doesn't require a lot of great innovation. It's just a lot of dribble handoffs and high screens and, setting horn sets and guys just coming off of screens and chucking up threes. I mean, like that's not that visually enticing. Like where's the basketball that the Spurs used to play with Duncan and Ginobili and Parker, where like every guy is touching the ball on a given play and you're getting a layup, or maybe you're getting a three, but it's a wide open three. It's not
right. As someone who loves 3-point shooting, I really do. It's too much. And I think a lot of it too. Also, maybe you agree with me on this one. There's got to be a balance. Like I want 3-point shooting, yes, but I also want mid-range game. I also want low post action. And I feel like the rule changes through the years created this. Not allowing hand checking, now allowing physical play has allowed this now to happen. I think if you bring back, I'm not saying go back to the 90s bully ball. I'm not even suggesting that, because even in the 80s, they allowed that stuff. In the 80s, they're still scoring the high 120s, 100s a game, even with physical play. I think if you allow some physical play in basketball, it will at least alleviate some of that issue, I think. What do you stand on that?
No, totally. And it's funny. You beat me to it, really, because I retweeted something earlier this morning. It was a clip from when the Magic and the Knicks were playing on Sunday night, and it was Jalen Suggs just absolutely hounding Jalen Brunson. And like the comment to that clip was like, oh, he fouls him multiple times, by the time he crosses half court. And I'm like, that's what the league is missing. They're missing a guy who's willing to pick up, from 70 feet away, who's going to run with the guy step for step down the floor. He's going to get his body into you. He's going to hound you. He's going to make it difficult. You just don't get a lot of that. So, I mean, like, you're not getting the physical play. And to your point, like, the low post has basically been taken entirely out of the game. I mean, a guy like Porzingis is 7'4", and like he's going to shoot way more threes than he's going to play in the mid post. And like Wembanyama wants to shoot threes more than he wants to play down low. I mean, his game is like a perimeter game. And it's like you realize that like you can practically dunk the ball without jumping. Like, so I mean, it's like watching him out there shoot 32% from three. It's not really that appetizing considering you could be doing so much more. He could be down low in the post and then have shooters spacing the floor around him. And he's got the skill to score in multiple ways.
I wonder if Adam Silver's aware of this. And if so, how do you address it? Because I think the physical play part will fix that problem. Because people say, "Oh, well, you have more injuries." Not necessarily. You have more injuries now, even without it. So it's not going to change the diagram much anyway. I think the aesthetics is what really is really the big thing. I think obviously injuries play a factor in that, of course. I think some things with some of the politics through the years play a factor to some degree. But I think the aesthetics, the big complaint you hear now, even from people who love the game, like us, is aesthetics. And is the fact that you have, for example, look at that game on Sunday, Warriors and Mavericks. 48 3-pointers made. Look, it's cool. I love 3-point shooting. I do. But that can't be the only thing you're providing. I'm sorry.
I'm fine with it if the shots are wide open. But when you have guys that are just take the step back 3-pointers, like that's not really a good aesthetic shot. Because it's a guy just heaving a ball at the rim saying, I'm either going to get fouled, it's going to go in, or we've got a good chance of getting the rebound. Like that's not like smart basketball. It's not good coaching. It's just aesthetically unpleasing. So not to say guys can't do it. I mean, James Harden did it great last night. Obviously, he was playing Utah, but I mean, he had 41 points in 3 quarters and hit a bunch of those. I mean, he had 5 3-pointers in the first half, and that's like his kind of shot. So it's not to say you can't be effective with it, but opening night, perfect example when Boston played the Knicks. Now, Boston was hitting their threes, so you can't complain about it. But I mean, it was just 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer. And you saw a lot of people complaining after that one game. And I'm like, look, don't complain. It's not their fault that they made a lot of them, but they don't always make them. And then that becomes kind of hard to watch when a team's taking 55 or 63s in a game. And if they're making 14 of them, that's not really great basketball.
I've seen people suggest certain things, some extreme stuff, but I'm totally against. I heard Dick Wright say eliminate the corner 3. Bullshit. Yep. Don't do that. Let's not go. Let's not attack this. One extreme from another extreme. Let's not do that. The simple thing here is allow physical play. Allow some form of hand checking. That way, that keeps people off the wings as much. It keeps the game more balanced. I think. I think it's an easy fix. I think the NBA, whether they want to embrace it, and is there fear of them going the other way, where like in the 90s you have like games ending 73-70. We don't want that either. But there's gotta be a nice balance here, and I think allowing some physical play is the way to go. Maybe
I totally agree with you, but I thought last year towards the end of the season when they started allowing the guys to play tougher and they started letting some more of it go, I thought it made for great basketball. So I mean,
absolutely.
I'm totally 100% in agreement with you. I don't want to see them do any gimmicks. I don't want to see them changing the floor. I don't want to see them adding 4-point shots. I don't want to see them limiting 3-pointers. I mean, can you imagine if a team got capped at 43s and now you're down by 3 with 8 seconds left?
Stupid.
And you can't shoot a 3 to tie the game. I mean, come on. It's
I heard that suggestion before. I was like, come on. Look, the problem's easy to fix.
It's like baseball with that golden at bat where it's like, oh, at any point in the game, you can just pick one guy to go up and bat for you. It's like, don't turn this into a gimmick or a sideshow. It's like, keep it basketball, but allow it to be played a little more purely like it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, like where it was more physical and guys could eliminate some of the threes by just getting tougher with the offensive player.
Right. I totally agree with you.